Well, hello, everybody. Here we are in 1933. But hold on a second. I'm over on a new platform, a new system with all new stuff, as you can see around you. Make sure that we can hear you okay. The music's not too loud. If it is, please make a comment in chat. I will adjust accordingly, as this is our trial run here for Project Athena. And I want to make sure everything is perfect as we begin not our first, not our second, but our third season. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Olympians of all ages, Grit and Jack 21502 proudly brings to you your Olympians! And they're in Berlin. And they're alone. There's no more Jack. There's no more U.S. government to help them. They only have themselves. Oh, and a guy by the name of Joseph Dietrich. But we'll get to that in a second as we see exactly what's going on. But until then, let's jump down as we always do. But we have a different type of focus going on here. Oh, one crit for Lindy, one for Tickles, and one for Pancakes. Well, that's us. I love that. Thank you so much, Pokey. Me, I'm Pancakes. Steve's Tickles. Well, you know what? Don't kink shame us. That's okay. So let's go over, and we have a different order in which to go here tonight. Order? Puberty someday. Let's start with Lindy. Lindy, we're back in 1933. How are you doing? Uh-oh, Lindy is muted. Okay, hold on. Hold on, everybody. Boop, boop, boo. I'll get you in here in a second. No worries.
This is our third season, so we've ironed out.
We're professionals.
Yeah, like I said at the top, we have a brand new system. We're using Slobs, the Streamlabs OBS. You should be able to hear everybody now.
Can you hear me now? There we go, all the sound. Okay, cool. Great. Hi! I'm Lindy, and I'm super spiffy and super hyped to be back reprising my role as Greta von Kraus this season. She's mixed feelings about being in Berlin. She would have been overjoyed, except for, 3 weeks ago? She went to this little place called Valentine Ale, and things didn't grow nearly as well as she had expected them to. So now she's like, okay, home country. Oh no, home country. And we're surrounded by a bunch of Joseph Dietrichs. What could possibly go wrong? This will be great, right?
Nothing will go wrong. Everything will be perfectly fine.
I
have it planned. In fact, I don't have anything planned. There's a picnic. I have one card with a picnic on it.
I love picnics.
I have wine tasting. There's a wine tasting option.
I'm already set for that.
And with that, we go over to America's Flying Sweetheart. Allison, how are you doing for season 3?
Well, hello, Greg. I'm well. How are you?
Perfect.
You're lucky I came back. That's what you are. After what you pulled during the season finale, just stop. After what you pulled during the season finale, you are just so lucky. So lucky. Hey, everybody. It's Allison. I play Caitlin Jane O'Callahan, aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's Flying Sweetheart. And I've been spending 2 weeks trying to figure out something to do other than shoot Joseph Dietrich in the head in the first 5 seconds of this episode. We'll see what I came up with. If anything.
Yeah, I mean, you could shoot him. Oh, we'll see. Hey, you know what? Player agency. Do whatever you would like, Allison. And I am very, very lucky that you're back to do additional things to Kate O'Callahan.
Oh my God.
As we go on to Steve, Dwight Burke, the resident sniper. How is he doing?
He sacrificed himself last time, but apparently he'll be back, and we will land. And he's going to find himself in Berlin, which will probably be the biggest shock of all for him, and it will not go over well. I am pretty sure. So you've done that, and thank you for that, buddy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's all me, right? As we've learned on RPGN, the dice tell the story, and I am here to facilitate said story from once upon a time to happily ever after, and let the dice tell everything in between. And speaking of everything in between, Strider, Elijah, how's he doing?
Elijah is doing fantastic. His sweetheart seems safe for the moment. Jack's dead. Everything on his to-do list is getting checked off. So he is just enamored and platonically infatuated with these people helping him. Dwight and Kate making these selfless sacrifices so that his Ruth can still be alive. That's all he wants. He doesn't even need to go see her. She's better off without him. So until then, he can just devote himself to making sure Dwight and Kate are happy and healthy and all of their endeavors and all of their goals are being met.
Nice. And I mean, that doesn't sound at all like it'll blow up in his face. It sounds like a good start for a third season of this Pulp Cthulhu Project Athena.
It's not like a sitcom episode or anything.
It's not. It's not. You know, we're not going to cut to like a Rembrandt song or anything like that. But we are going to cut to Lauren, Sabella Ives. No longer the proprietor of the Ives Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore, because that is an ocean away and probably got crushed by a big worm. Well, that's just my headcanon. But let's see what we're doing here in Berlin for season 3.
Hi, Greg.
Hey.
Hi, everybody else who I love and adore. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm that Salty Ginger on Twitter. Yes, I am indeed here to play Miss Sabella Marie Ives of Ives Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore on the beautiful Lower East Side of Manhattan, or else. And I'm just having the best time on my European vacay, which is how I'm choosing to think of this. I'm surrounded by people I can't currently stand. It's just so much fun. It's gonna be really good. I'm excited. I hope you're excited, because I am nothing but optimistic right now.
And that's what this type of adventure needs, is optimism, because you're going to need it as we recap the events that led our Olympians here to Berlin in 1933.
I'm just going to mute. Can you just give me a wave or something? Because I don't think I can handle this again.
Sure. And I tell you what I'll do, Allison. For those with sensitive sensibilities, I will speak in code, so you don't know exactly what I'm talking about. In the events of our season finale with the Olympians, they were faced with a very tough test. They saw what appeared to be a couple baseball cards, and those baseball cards had to be torn in a particular order. And as they tore those very valuable baseball cards, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, they were tearing them. And as they had to watch these shreds of these beautiful baseball cards drop to the ground forever extinguished, no more home runs, no more cheers, no more people being helped by their wonderful performances, they were met with the ability to escape. And as New York City and the bastardization of the world fell away behind them, as did several of these baseball cards that were cast aside like so much wheat or dice rolls. There was one, a rookie by the name of Phil Castillo, with a hell of a batting average, that seemed to take a yod and was able to succeed where all the other batters had failed. But upon awakening from this hellacious game of baseball, instead of going home, as is the goal of every runner, they went far from it, as they went instead to Berlin, the center of their enemy's strength. Or so they seemed. Or so it seemed, as just outside of the French cathedral, they were approached by not one, not two, but 200 Dietrichs. And in the front of these Dietrichs, at their head, pulling their strings, walking with them, we don't know yet, was an older gentleman in his mid-50s who was, in fact, an older version of these Dietrichs that they have seen and are currently witnessing. And as they were standing here in the square before the French Cathedral in Berlin, they were asked one simple question by this Dietrich Prime. So, my fellow Olympians, are you ready to save the world? And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Olympians of all ages, that is where we begin season 3. But before we do so, a couple little housekeeping items. As you can see, when somebody gets a crit, if you take a look at Greta, she gets put a crit on, looks like a baseball card. And so if you want to give them extra crits, all of their crits have been converted into experience points, either in the forms of luck, sanity, or base percentage points for their skills. They are walking in blind, no crits, no nothing in the heart of Berlin. If you'd like to help them out, please do so. If not, watch them burn. Otherwise, let's slip back into 1933 as Dietrich has just delivered his line, and we are faced with the Olympians as they begin yet another mission abroad. Olympians, what would you like to do?
Dietrich, it has been a while. Do you recall the last thing I told you, sir?
No.
Next time you see us Olympians and you're surprised we're all alive, I hope you're willing to talk instead of fight.
I am sorry to tell you, Herr Sawyer, but that did not come from me.
Kate is ice cold. Colonel Dietrich, I just murdered the 2 best friends I ever had and abandoned somebody that I love to people that I knew not to trust. And she looks at Elijah when she says it. To save this world. It's going to take more than your smarmy face to get me to do it again.
Well, Miss O'Callaghan, is it help you at all to know that this is the first time that we are talking?
It does not appear to be helping her, no.
How old does he look, Greg?
Mid-50s.
I thought all you little ants and cockroaches had some kind of hive mind. You haven't, okay.
No. Not the others. Just the ones that you see around you.
So there are Dietrich clones that are independently owned and operated, and then these clones that are directly connected to you. Interesting.
Yeah. These that you see before you are mine. They are the only ones that remained loyal to me. The rest are under the control of the Fuhrer.
I wanna insight. I want psychology.
Please do.
Go right ahead.
It's a success.
He seems to be telling the truth.
Okay.
Greg,
Mm-hmm.
you said my puzzle box said something different, but you didn't tell me what it said. If I look at it right now, what does it say?
It used to say open only at the French Cathedral in Berlin. It now says opening the French Cathedral in Berlin.
Dwight is loading the magic bullet.
Oh, how convenient. You see, it wasn't him besetting us this whole time. In fact, he can just stroll right up to us and we'll act like old friends.
That does seem to be in our best interest, Mr. Sawyer.
He appears to be truthful. I just have my notebook out. I'm writing.
No, he has the advantage here. He's holding all the cards. I am completely at y'all's disposal.
Do you feel pressured, Herr Sawyer?
Define pressure.
I can define the lack of it. And all of the Dietrichs put their guns away.
I look straight at Katie and Dwight, and I hiss at them. Now, don't
does
do
Dwight know
any-
he's in
Dwight,
Berlin?
Dwight, don't do anything stupid right now, because I really can't deal with that again. Either of you.
To answer Dwight's question, everybody roll perception checks for me and let me know anybody that gets a hard or extreme success.
Are we talking spot hiddens here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just normal successes.
Mm-mm.
Well. But I recognize that we are in Berlin because I lived here.
Anybody that received a regular success that is not Greta doesn't understand exactly where you are. Greta, this is Berlin.
Okay.
German, why should we trust you?
Because you have nowhere else to turn. Here, Burke. And because we are all Olympians.
You're just a fucking scum of the earth.
Oh, God.
You do not know me, Herr Burke.
I mean, he looks around at all these doubles. I've seen what your buddies have done.
You have seen Frankensteinian creations. You have not seen me.
At this, you can hear Kate unsnap the snap on her 45 holster. And she looks over at Sabella and very slowly draws it out of the holster and lets it dangle on her trigger finger and then hands it to Sabella.
What do you want me to do with that?
Typical German.
Take it.
Oh, right, because you can't control yourself when you want to do stupid things. Okay, I will hold on to it. Thank you, Kate.
All right, Mr. Dietrich. What do you got for us?
For lack of a better definer, Dietrich Prime walks forward and he begins to close the space between you all. 50 feet away, 40 feet away, 30 feet away. None of the other Dietrichs appear to be moving, converging, closing ranks. They're remaining
Now-
motionless.
Are they blinking or do they look like the zombies?
Let's see, what did you get on your...
A regular success.
You notice that you see intermittent blinking.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
That's a comfort.
That's a change of pace. Greg, as she's getting closer, I'm working with 3 theories currently. Does the turpentine fun stuff that was coming from the east seem to be coming from right there? Or no?
You would need to roll me a power check to see if you can attune to that type of...
Okay. Regular.
You don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
But you do sense a significant amount of power coming from this Dietrich Prime walking towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah will casually stroll and position himself in between Dietrich Prime and the rest of the Olympians.
20 feet. 10 feet. He walks up and stands within handshaking distance. So, Olympians, have you figured out who you're fighting yet?
Uh-huh.
Humor an old man.
Robert, meet him in Caduceus and whatever they actually are.
Is it douchebags?
Right.
A small smile cracks the side of his lined face. Yeah. Caduceus.
You can't be serious. You can't trust this fucking German.
Dwight.
I trust that fucking German. Why not this one?
Herr Burke, I am not asking you to trust me. Why would you do something so silly as that?
I'll never
I'm
trust you.
Good. That is a perfect place to start. I'm here to tell you the truth. Jack did not do so. None of these advisors that you've had have done so. None of your quests have led you to the truth. But I am here to give it to you. So, ask your questions.
How'd you get us here?
I stopped something that was going to happen, and I redirected you.
You're supposed to be an Olympian too.
I am an Olympian.
Do you hear the voice? Do you see the purple bullshit? Have you talked to Daddy?
I have not been active in several years, but I was among the gods. I wish to be so again. Redemption, in my old age, seems a more fitting prize than gold.
You want redemption? Zap us the fuck out of here away from you.
I do not have that type of power. Why, I would have zapped you away as soon as I learned of your existence. To keep you away from Jack, to keep you away from these falsehoods and these lies that I was fed. I had to wait, and as soon as I realized that you would be taken again, I intervened.
What falsehoods was it that you were fed? Exactly.
That I was working for the greater good. That I was working for the greater good of Germany, for the United States, for Europe, for the world. Is that what Jack told you? Come for country, come for king, come for the world. When I was younger, like these, and he points to the others, I believed such things. I believed in the country. I believed in Deutschland. That is why so many of my mirrors are infatuated with the Fuhrer. But there's enough of me left, enough of me remains that can tell the truth. You were fed the same thing. You are not working for your country, you're not working for the world. You have and continue to work for Caduceus.
And you just work for yourself, then?
I survive, Herr Sawyer. There is no defeating Caduceus. They are everywhere. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a silver container. He pops it open, withdraws a cigarette, puts it in his mouth and lights it. They are everywhere. In every conceivable government. And they are thorough. They are not just in power, they are the revolutionaries. They are the opposing political faction. So no matter what happens in the course of human events, they are ready. They are prepared. They do not wish to have the rats that they believe us to be to rise against them in some type of annoyance. So I survive.
I can respect that.
Do you know where they were sending us? You said we were being taken somewhere again. Do you know where we were going?
I could only assume Calcutta, but...
Right. That was on the list.
That's where you were supposed to go next. They had dropped hints as to send the vaunted Project Athena and their Olympians to investigate the area.
So they could kill us or so we could get what they wanted?
So they could get what they wanted, Fräulein Eyes. You are tools, as I was. As my friends were. We were sent to places that they could not go. Places that Caduceus is not willing to expend resources to. conquer.
Kate, Greta, didn't y'all say they had one of those machines here? In this area?
Yeah.
Nods.
You know anything about that, Mr. Dietrich?
Oh, yeah. It's in the Reichstag building.
Oh.
How do you multiply, German?
You can't just ask someone how they multiply.
Well, you
It's
see,
a-
when
If he wants to be
He's-
honest with us, let him tell us.
He smiles around the cigarette. Oh, well, I was sent on a mission like you were. To your
something to do
Bolivias
with
and your...
Jerusalem, yeah?
Yeah. How familiar are you with the Bible?
More
The
than
book of
passing.
The book of Christ.
Quite familiar.
He turns towards Dwight. Do you remember the sermon where there were several hundred people that had turned up to witness the Messiah, the Christ, as he spoke to the crowds, and they were hungry, some of them starving. And the Christ sent his apostles out to fetch whatever they could find. And they returned with a few fish, a few loaves of bread. And somehow those fish and those loaves of bread became legion. Enough to fill, enough to feed, more than enough.
Don't compare yourself to fish and wine, German.
Oh,
If I remember my catechism
The
correctly, that
biological
was-
composition of fish is not all that different than human tissue, in a matter of speaking. Granted, it is warm-blooded versus cold-blooded, but I'm sure the technology.
Thank you,
is-
Dr.
Yes.
Crow.
this is not biology. This is not, and he's still looking directly at Dwight. This is not about science or even mysticism. This is about faith. And that is what I walked into Jerusalem with, Herr Berg. Faith. And so I found this fragments, this remaining shard of the baskets that held all of these fish and all of this bread. And when I touched it, it accepted me.
I find that hard to believe.
I don't care what you believe, American. Because I witnessed it. I lived it. And whether you like it or not, an artifact once held by the Christ accepted me. And that is how I multiply. But
Oh, so
there's
you
a
can-
catch.
You can. Oh, what is that?
The Führer and the Ministry of the Occult in von Ovenschlieben have recruited many of my protege. I was young when I went to Jerusalem.
How long ago did you go to Jerusalem?
Yeah, it's 16. Yeah, 16 years ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, Dwight does the math in his head. So you were there in Africa during the war, or you were in North Africa during the war then. And that's how you went there.
My dear Burke, you should know by now, I am everywhere.
And that's why I don't believe anything you say about your puppets and what you're doing, and that you don't know that they're doing it.
Well, then let's speak about biology. Your Dr. von Kraus. She is a doctor. Doctor, what is your theory on how me and mind exchange information?
Well, and I will actually reach into my bag and pull out a little slide. that I have, little box, little slide in it. From what I have observed, I believe there is something to do with imprinting of memories on the blood, because I have witnessed on 2 occasions now that Dietrich lets himself onto a slide and the other one licks it. Therefore, I believe there has to be some sort of imprinting involved genetically.
Right,
You-
but there's something else.
Yeah, but I have not quite figured that out completely, but it does have something to do with the mind.
with the
Maybe
mind.
radio waves, magnetic fields.
Yes,
Something.
that sounds right.
Vampires. They suck each other's blood to understand where they've been, what they think, what they feel, what they've experienced. One of you vaunted Olympians come forward and whisper something into my ear. I do not care which it is. Who is brave enough to come close to such a untruthful god?
I am.
He continues to smoke as you walk up.
Okay.
Elijah was, blocking your way. He kind of turns and gives you an eyebrow. Like, you sure you know what you're doing? But he'll let you pass.
Yes, you most certainly will, Mr. Sawyer. I go up to him and whisper in his ear, "Did you feel it when I cut you off?"
He looks. What do you mean? Cut me off.
One of your, I guess, outliers was doing something not very toward to one of my friends. So I made him stop, and I've heard that several of you screamed.
Fascinating. No, I did not feel that. And you made him scream?
Yes, I did.
How did it sound?
I turn around and walk away.
In a conversation that was probably only audible for 5 to 10 feet, scattered throughout the 200 Dietrichs that you see around you, there are mirrors of the conversation. Cut them off. How did it make you feel? As it kind of echoes around as you hear this reverberation as each of the Dietrichs open their mouths and repeat a fragment of the conversation, somehow being able to divine what it was that you two spoke in confidence. I do not have to suck the blood of one of these others. We are the last 200.
So you can't do it anymore.
No, I cannot.
Why?
It has been taken from me.
By Alvensleben?
Ah, by Ovenschlieben. They cannot use it though. They are trying.
Didn't
And he
accept
looks-
them.
He looks over at Dwight. No, it did not.
You're the devil, German.
Ah, possibly.
Kate's gone from sort of tapping her foot to kind of pacing back and forth in this little circle where they're all standing.
So where do we go from here?
We retake the world, Herr Burke. That is why I brought you here, to save this place. You wish to save the world, or do you wish to watch it burn, Christian?
Working with you, there's no chance.
You not work with somebody that was accepted by God.
Dwight just laughs, and he actually pulls out a cigarette himself and lights it. You're not accepted by nothing except your own self.
Ah. And he looks around, and all of the Dietrichs raise their hands and perform the sign of the cross as one. It seems that someone, somewhere, accepted me.
Yeah, Dwight just kind of laughs at that.
So, now that everyone's smoking and just thoroughly relaxed, what exactly do you propose? 'Cause I am all ears.
Everybody roll another perception check now and tell me if you get a hard or extreme.
I actually got a hard success.
So did I. I'm so
The cool
surprised.
kids know what's going on.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's almost an extreme.
Okay, so for Elijah and Greta, you all, when you look around, realize something, that the light of Berlin has a purple tinge to it.
Okay.
You all will be arriving in Berlin soon.
We are not there yet. I understand.
You are knocking on the door. I just barred it from opening for a moment.
Interesting. I assume you wish to meet up somewhere in Berlin.
No, not in Berlin. As soon as I would walk into Berlin, they would string me up and hang me in the square. All of us. And that is a lot of rope.
So where are you currently?
Well, let's just say that I am on the border of Germany and Switzerland.
And everywhere. Don't forget everywhere.
We're everywhere, I was assuming. He kind of smiles at that as he looks over at Elijah.
You know, Mr. Dietrich, we are great order followers. What exactly is the plan once the door is opened?
You can't be serious right now.
We're very serious, Mr. Burke.
We are currently still in the purple. We'll be out soon.
I just want to know what we're supposed to do in your great mind once we hit the ground running.
As you hit the ground, well, it's up to you, but let me pose this question. I am no longer able to come into Berlin, and I have a way of masking your all's identity as you are in Berlin, so you can go about your business and perhaps find some things that I cannot. There are several things in Berlin that could aid us in defeating Caduceus and these pretenders for the Reich. I can tell you, you can perform them, or you can let them slip through your fingers. You can accept my aid or decline it, and watch as the Gestapo comes and takes you away. But regardless of what we decide here, you will arrive in Berlin. So, are we working together, or are we pissing in the wind? And he looks over at Dwight.
One more thing. Why did Jack trust you?
Because, Herr Burke, isn't it obvious? I am a god.
Sure.
Just like you. Just like her. He looks over at Kate. Just like her. Dr. Von Krause. It's like him to Elijah. And just like her to Sabella. We are all gods. Chosen or not. We are all Olympians.
I'll stand with my captain. If she says we're going to go forth with this, then we will.
The answer is yes, Kate.
You accept my aid, Miss O'Callahan?
I can get us out of Berlin.
Perhaps he can.
Yes.
So we are partners, as they say.
Don't press your goddamn luck. Do it.
Very well.
This is a mistake.
Really?
I need you all to open your minds to me. That is all. He takes the cigarette, drops it on the ground. He snuffs it out, and you realize the cigarette stays there as he begins to draw in the air in front of you. And as his fingers draw through the air, they leave a green line behind them.
Can I tell what he's doing?
Roll an occult roll for me.
Whee!
Can I do that also, please?
Yep. Anybody would like to.
Scream!
Sabella, without being able to tell everyone what you're seeing,
Yeah.
you are able to identify that he is in fact evoking higher magic. This is... If we exist in a middle realm, or the world as we know it exists in a middle realm, there are the creatures below, like the Dole and the Gug and the things that you fought, that are more bestial than they are intelligent, and then there are the higher realms, where they are of great and powerful minds that shatter our own if we begin to comprehend them. This is magic from the higher realms. And it appears that in what limited idea, even with an extreme that you have of this particular spell, it looks as if he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do, and he's going to mask you from detection.
Okay.
Anybody that is going to agree to this, I need you to roll a power roll.
Oh boy. Hard.
A reminder, I'm rolling with advantage.
Extreme.
Nice.
Failure on my power roll.
Dwight.
I don't know why that's the one that's the most fun to say.
It's because you got the V right there.
Yeah, the V.
Divide.
Yeah.
Dwight.
Divide.
Okay, so as everything rolls through, you all that succeeded feel this intrusion into your mind. But as before, where it kind of, that intrusion usually led to a sundering or a shattering of your psyche, where you felt a bit of your personality, self, soul, whatever you would call it, kind of slip and sloth away. You feel that your personality is barricaded, almost as if your very essence was given a winter jacket or a suit of armor or a shield or a hug, something to protect it from what would be coming from the outside.
I was okay with it until you said a hug.
Elijah, I'd like you to roll a sanity check for me, please.
God damn it, Greg. Stop it.
Ooh,
Success!
nice.
Hard success.
Nice.
The only one I'm going to get all season.
Yep.
Okay, so as you begin to feel this, where the others feel this acceptance, this protection, perhaps as a condition that you never let anybody get close, this is completely opposite of Elijah's carriage in life, not just with the dealings of some Nazi with a god complex. You fight against it. And as you fight against it, it begins to feel as it did before, this sundering, this tearing, this wrenching. But at the last moment, you're able to come to grips with it. And you do lose 1 sanity point, but you keep yourself from losing much more as you enter into the same protection that Dietrich has afforded the others.
Do I, can I try to, science this up? Because Greta, she's very much an unbeliever, and she got an extreme. Do I get a little bit of feedback, or do I feel exactly what's going on? Just out of curiosity.
You're not able to enter Dietrich's mind and feel his surface feel. In fact, you feel nothing from his side. And for someone that's been close to the Vatican, for somebody that's obviously been close to the readings of Sibella Ives, this is something different. This is somebody that has learned a very, very fine art of shielding themselves. He does not appear as old as the Vatican, but if there were a power rating or a measure of power for this, he is vastly superior to the Vatican.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna tucks that away in her mental box.
Ah, my fellow Olympians. They cannot find you unless, of course, they see you. Unless, of course, they ask you your name and you say Dwight Burke. I would suggest not doing that.
We will all get hats.
They hide your identity, so I've heard. But there are numerous things for you to do, but you will not have time enough to do them all, I fear, because as soon as they realize that you have not arrived in Calcutta, they will be interested to see exactly where you arrived. It will not take them long. But you should have a few days. What I will do is, I have a apartment in the Garden Stock at Falkenberg. It is a complex of 1,500 apartments. It is new. It has everything you need: uniforms, papers, IDs, Reich marks. And he looks over at Greta. It's a small laboratory. Something to heat up your beakers.
Dankeschön, Herr Dietrich.
No. He looks at the others, but there's more to do, so who is speaking for you, Olympians? Who is your commander? And his eyes are firmly on Kate.
I owe absolutely everything to my captain.
Mr. Sawyer, the reason Sibella's got that gun is so I don't use it on you. I don't want to ever hear that from you again.
Katie, being a leader means making tough decisions, right? So before you step forward, you need to know that.
Katie, you're the only one here who's not looking out after themselves.
We'll see about that.
Dietrich lights a cigarette.
I suppose that would be me, Colonel.
Oh, I am no longer in the military. Joseph would do fine. So you are the voice of the Olympians. Their Zeus, their Hera. They called me Apollo. Did you know that?
Would you please just shut up and tell us what we're supposed to do?
You must forgive me. I have spent so many years talking to myself.
I do just laugh.
Yeah, Greta actually let out the...
Absolutely.
Typical
laugh.
German.
Greta is standing right here, Dwight.
Yeah.
There are several things for you to do, Zeus. But you cannot do them all. He points over, without taking his eyes from Kate, he gestures with his cigarette to Greta. Her family was taken the other day. The Gestapo secured them, I do not know where. But that is not one of your tasks. But in the promise of fairness and honesty and disclosure, I thought I would tell you. But
The
on your...
information is much appreciated.
Ah. I would not look for them. Surely a trap. But there are other things that you can do. Other things that they would not expect. Von Auvenschlieben is here. In Berlin. At the Reichstag building. He was given it when the Führer permanently disbanded Parliament. They gave him the building to work as his own HQ for the Ministry of the Cult. He is doing something. I wish to know what. Just see what he's doing. That is all. Learn, watch, remember. And they do have that teleportation device there, the ritual altar. If that could be disabled, that would limit the Führer's ability to instantaneously reinforce his troops around the world, at least from this place. And there are other things to do. There is Hitler's new occult researcher, his head priest, if you will. Her name is Maxine Schmidt. She is somewhere in the city. I don't know if she is at the museum. I do not know if she is at the Reichstag building. I don't know if she is at the Glenaki Palace, but she is one of those three places. She is providing him with an intense amount of information. It is my understanding that she is either a pawn of Caduceus or a willing participant. Either way, she must not be allowed to live. That is up to you. Now, the other things that you have in von Auvenschlieben and Maxine Schmidt and the Glenaki Palace, you would be able to find exactly what Caduceus is using the Reich for. These places. They are manipulating my country. The Führer is gone. He is drunk deeply from their font. And he does not even know it. These places, if you can go there, find these things, and then come to the Swiss-German border, I will meet you. And we can share stories. What do you think, Zeus?
Colonel Dietrich.
Joseph.
Fuck you.
Mm.
I'll confer with my team.
Ah, democracy. How quaint.
Tis very American.
Cutting edge.
And then I will decide what we will do. But you might want to thank me now for whatever it is we accomplished for you, because one way or another, you will never see me again.
Oh, that would be a shame. Fräulein O'Callaghan, I have so much to tell you. So much to show you. So many people for you to reacquaint yourself with.
Can Dwight lead into Dietrich?
Sure, you can close on him.
You're not
See
God.
something?
You're not brought by God. I'm going to kill you, German. You're nothing. And I don't buy anything that you're saying right now. We'll do your actions. But I'll find you in Switzerland.
Oh, I certainly hope so. Since I will be telling you where I am. It would be silly if I did so and you did not find me.
So I just backs away from him. See you soon.
Mr. Dietrich.
Yeah.
Hi, real quick.
Joseph?
Joseph. This Maxine Schmidt.
Schmidt.
Thank you.
Schmidt.
That's what I said. Thank you.
There's a D before there's a T.
Greta, I got it.
Just Schmidt. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Could she conceivably, what do we call it in America? Mess with someone from afar?
You mean is she an Olympian or possess powers like your Phil Castillo? No.
But von Alvensleben does.
Von Alvensleben. Yes. He is very dangerous. Have you ever seen a man fly? What am I saying? Of course you have.
Yeah. And I've flown myself. It's quite fun, or so I'm told.
Fake news.
Well, let's just say the von Alvensleben has many powers that make you reacquaint yourself with the fantastic. And it's not something I say lightly.
Got it. All right, Team Huddle. Because we're such a team.
Dietrich moves like he's going to join for just a second, and kind of smiles and walks off smoking.
All right. What do you think? And she's looking at Sabella when she says it.
Oh, who, me? Right. I'm very much in favor. Yeah, I'm not really sure that he's worse than any of us.
He is being truthful as far as I can tell.
You cannot be serious about trusting him. For
Who is saying trust, Dwight?
Trust is a very strong word.
all we're doing is his actions right now. He's given us a list of things that he wants to accomplish.
And I think some of those, at least, will
Align
help
themselves.
us. Yes.
Yeah, and
Greta,
put him in
we-
power
it's
in
our own
Germany.
interest.
That's what's going to happen.
Greta, we are just so on the same wavelength these days. Of course, we can't trust him, Dwight. Thank you very much for your input.
It's not.
I'm glad you're putting it in now instead of where we just were. That's so fun.
Cabela, if we do what he wants us to do, all it does is benefit him.
I don't think that's necessarily true. Of course, it does benefit him. Why would he do anything that doesn't benefit him? But I think some of it will benefit us. I think someone here is hampering with some of my talents. So I think we need to
Alvensleben?
probably.
Well, you're right about one thing, Doctor. Trust is a very strong word. And she turns to Dwight. Mr. Burke, do you trust me?
I do, Kate. That's why I accepted what he said. But you need to trust me and know that he is complete evil.
I do, Mr. Burke. I trust you with my life. She turns to Sawyer. Mr. Sawyer, do you have an opinion to share on the matter?
I want to say one thing. Kate, you can bitch and moan and tell me that you hate me, and I was not going to let you die before me because you're actually someone important. People die every day. If you have no reason to live anymore, then you just know what it feels like to be me. So, that being said, you have my full vote of confidence. I'll do whatever you tell me.
Kate rolls her eyes just a little bit, and she walks by Elijah very close as she's walking back toward Dietrich. And as she walks by, she says, Mr. Sawyer, God willing, I will never know what it's like to be you. And as she passes him, she walks up to Dietrich and says,
Yeah?
well, all right, Mr. Dietrich.
Joseph.
Looks like you got yourself a team. Do whatever it is you need to do. And let us go.
Oh, it'll wear off soon. I just, it's like putting a bar against the door that is being pushed against. Soon it will pop. It is not something that I can, make pop. But just remember that if you are finding Maxine Schmidt, she could be at the Kaiser Friedrich Museum. She could be at the
Glenarchy Palace oder the Reichstag.
Yes.
I take notes.
Dog.
Someone's to take notes. What a interesting predicament. But there are things to find at each one as well. There's remnants of what they have brought back from Calcutta at the Glenarchy Palace. There's, of course, von Ovenschlieben at the Reichstag. And if you go to the museum, I'm sure you will find all number of occult items that they have Schmidt working on. But if you... I cannot help you once you are gone. So, good luck, Olympians. It is good to be part of the team again.
If we have time, Dietrich, Joseph, the Borneos, the Calcuttas, all this, what exactly? Do you have any idea what it is Caduceus is up to?
I have theories, nothing concrete. I believe they are trying to bring something from the higher realms here.
With those artifacts?
Yeah. And those teleportation ritual altars scattered all over the globe like a network, like a series of doorways. All of them by some type of seismic or geological fault line, volcano, or some such. Seems too convenient. That's why I said, without hyperbole, we are saving the world. He starts to fade. Oh.
Last chance to say thank you.
Him or us?
Tschüss, Joseph.
Yeah.
Fuck
See
you.
you. See you soon.
He nods to everybody and looks at Dwight and says, only if you're lucky, and disappears.
So next time we see Dietrich, we'll... Okay.
I adjust my hat.
Oh boy.
And as you sit there, you realize that the noises from a typical urban cityscape begin to bleed forward as you hear cars, pedestrians, just the noise of an early morning. And within moments, as you are kind of in this alley across from the French Cathedral in Berlin, you begin to, almost like a black and white movie that's been colorized, that Roy G. Biv begins to bleed through the 3D and create an odd, almost nauseating effect for a moment. The purple bleeds away, and you are standing in a living, breathing city. And as you look, you see a car drive by. It is early morning by your guesstimations.
Fuck, we're in Germany.
Perhaps you should not say that so loud in English in the square.
Greg,
In our
Which is the
disguise, do we
perfect-
speak German?
With the perfect segue for me to currently ask, of the Olympians, who speaks German?
Just the one.
I'm fluent. It's my first language.
I want to do
This-
that.
This is
It's
just
like
like Inglourious Bastards. You're the
Yep.
second best at Italian. I don't know Italian. That makes you second best.
I'm the third best.
Arrivederci.
Just Doc.
I'd be
So-
more than happy to be your translator.
Don't think any of us should talk at all if we can help it.
No, I don't think we should get caught with our pants down, so to speak. I think getting to that apartment and getting some papers and clothes and disguises would probably be the smartest thing to do.
Perhaps you should check that. Greta knows about the box, right? That it says, because you asked where the French cathedral was, right?
Yeah, I showed
Yeah,
it to you.
okay.
It says opening the French cathedral.
What is that package you had, Sibella? It's we are near the French cathedral, and we might not be back this way again.
Right. It just says opening. Opening the French cathedral now.
Maybe if we stand closer.
I'm happy to take in the sights.
Is
no,
this
that's
fair?
not what we're going to do. We're going to head back to that safe house and plan from there.
Exactly,
Doctor?
Captain. Kate. Not Captain.
Fine.
Doctor?
Yeah?
You'll do the talking. I presume you know your way around?
Yeah, my father used to work at the main hospital here.
And you understood where Joseph was telling us that our little safe home was?
Garden shocked. Did I say it right?
Gartenstock in Wolkenberg.
Garden stock. Is that right?
Close.
Garden stock.
Stock. In,
Stock.
in Wolkenberg.
Garden stock in Falkenberg. I think I nailed it.
So if
How-
you want to saying it in German, it's not an N on in, it is
Doctor.
im.
Doctor?
Yeah?
This is not the time for a language lesson. How far away are we from the safe
Language
house?
lessons are at sundown.
How far away are we, Greg?
Well,
Yeah,
Greg. If you would turn towards the map that you all have.
Oh, that's right. We have a map. We're
yes,
fancy.
yes, of course you
Let's
do.
see how where are we?
So kind.
Goldenstock and Falkenberg. If you
Falkenberg.
look towards the lower right-hand corner, I am
the
going
lower
to
right hand.
ping
Ah,
right
right
above
here?
Oh,
Right,
wow,
right.
we're far away.
Yeah, you're all about right here, right now.
Yeah, we're at the little square to the right of the
Yeah, yeah, here.
Yeah,
we
got
need to get here.
I'm digging the ping.
Yeah, how long do I think it'll take to get there?
By taxi, not long at all. Walking, 30, 40 minutes.
Okay, I'll relay that information. That's how long it will take.
Do we have any currency?
I do.
Yes.
I actually didn't have any American money until Elijah gave me some. I only had some marks.
Amazing. Okay.
The less time we spend on the street where somebody might come up and want to have a conversation with us, the better, I think. Why don't you hail us a cab?
We are so friendly.
Doctor?
Yeah?
Why don't you hail us a cab?
I'm doing so it is not as obnoxious as it is in America. And I will walk over
You
to
don't
like
just stick your leg out like this, and I do it.
and I will please
I will.
stop acting American in Deutschland.
Sorry.
We are trying to remain subtle.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Kate does laugh at that.
Yeah, Dwight just has an utter look of disgust.
This is not going to go well.
As we're waiting
yeah.
for the cab, Kate turns to Sabella and just holds her hand out like this.
Gonna hail a cab.
Oh, Katie, I really don't feel like holding your hand.
The
You
gun.
want your gun back? I give her a gun.
Kate sticks it in her pocket.
Okay, so you all are hailing a cab. I would like the following rolls as a cab pulls over, one big enough to house the 5 of you. I would like a... Oh, what do I make? What
Do you want a German language roll? I'm really fluent.
I
No.
have great gams.
I am going to ask you to roll. Oh, let's do. I'm going to give you. I'm going to be super nice. I'm going to do a charm, a fast talk, or a persuade. And this isn't to get a cab. Of course, you can get a cab.
Yeah.
This is to.
These are my very
draw
German
your
friends.
These are my German friends that are not dressed in German fashion whatsoever.
Yep.
I am going to load us all into this car in the early morning here in front of the French Cathedral, and I am going to engage you to the point where they don't ask questions, or you don't ask questions, and you don't remember us. So this is
So
and only
a
you can
charm,
do it.
a persuade, or a fast talk. Well, let's see. That's a 15. Where is F? That is. I know. A 5. I'm just seeing if I have anything, or a 10. Let's use a crit on some charming. And Gretel will sit in the front seat of the cab.
Yeah, girl.
And just charm away in German fashion. This cabbie driver.
Okay, and yeah, he hold his interest the entire time. Oh yeah, yeah, and he drives through, and he takes you guys over to the let me see, where did he tell you you're going to go to? The Gartenstock of Volkenberg, the area there, which is it's modeled after the garden cities of London, with apartment buildings kind of shaped in a U, with a central park area. It's very, very nice. It's very, very new, just finished earlier this year. And as you guys kind of roll in, you are directed to, and as you kind of look on the list, you notice that there is an address for one Jack Kilgrave.
Okay. Yeah, and that matches the number we were given?
Yep.
The 1500? Okay, cool. Yeah, we will go there.
It takes you guys just a brief period of time. I'm going to tell you what, just to see, since this is early morning and people are going to work and people are getting up to start their day, there is a passage of time. So here's what I'm going to ask for you guys to do. I would like one person to roll with advantage, persuasion, charm, or fast talk. If that person is not Greta, that person needs to get a hard or an extreme for it to work.
Aja.
Yeah, I think that should be a Sawyer.
Sure.
Just because my odds of getting a 15 or lower are not great.
Roll 20 normally hates me. Let's see how this goes. Motherfucker.
Wait, that's psychology, hon.
Yeah, that is psychology.
wrong
You rolled
roll.
psychology twice.
Persuasion,
Charm, or
how to
fast
read.
talk.
Elijah likes to read, but Strider can't read at all.
Oh, close.
You're so close.
Sauerkraut. I'll go ahead and spend the 5 luck points I need to spend.
You're the man.
So for a moment, as a young woman that seems to be engaged with going to either school or to some job. She's walking by, and her eye catches the devastatingly handsome Elijah Sawyer as he's walking through. But for a moment, whether it's his carriage or his dress or his general demeanor, something seems off about him. But with a quick engagement of the baby blues to her baby browns, she forgets all about any doubts that she had and proceeds on to her day here in Berlin with a skip in her step and a pair of eyes to think about for the remainder of her workday.
Your eye candy.
Hmm?
Ja, sauerkraut. Wie geht's?
Did you get a newspaper while you were out?
No one told me they were getting a newspaper.
I
This is all news to me.
I like newspapers.
Okay.
Yeah, if we are lucky, there's one delivered to the door.
Right. I'm just yes.
And
That's what I'm
you
looking
read German?
And
I'm
that's
gonna
a
learn real
perfect,
fast.
I'll do a spot
That's a
hidden for
perfect
you, Cheech,
segue.
if that's okay.
Oh,
no.
Great segue.
The great segue is if we're lucky. So, Greta, roll me
Okay.
a luck roll to see if you can find a paper on your
Sure.
way in here.
Fucking
That's a success.
nice.
There's one.
Pick up a newspaper. I go to the door and I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yep.
And I hand it to Sibel.
Thank you.
It's in German.
Whoa, what is the date?
Warte mal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Juli, correct? Juli?
It was July 31st when we left. I want to know what date it is now.
The date on the paper?
Greta, what date is on the paper?
Numbers are all the same.
Greta, I know the numbers are the same, Steven.
August
talking to you.
15th, 1933.
Did you say
August 15th, 1933.
August. Is it? What day of the week is it?
I believe it's a Wednesday.
Ah, Mittwoch.
I think
Excellent.
you're right. I think you are right, sir.
Duh, Hump Day.
I'll double check on that. I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm pretty
Wednesday.
sure you're right because July 31st was a Monday. Okay.
Is Mittwoch?
All right. Are we going inside? Are we inside?
Yeah,
you
I'm
guys
gonna,
walk
like-
in.
Okay.
Can I do a spot hidden?
Yeah, where? Inside or outside?
We're going in. Yeah, in.
Okay.
No. Nice.
Extreme.
This apartment seems to be Spartan. There's nothing that kind of sticks out. It is, however, well stocked with dry goods, water, wine. It has numerous.
What year is it?
The wine?
Yeah.
It's 1929.
The white likes
it's-
wine.
This is very good fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it.
Who doesn't?
before.
Yep.
But-
Yep.
Yeah, not in real life.
Okay, so as they you guys look around, you notice that there are German uniforms of every conceivable division. There are German uniforms for medical personnel that are civilian medical personnel, meaning that there are doctors, nurses outfits. There are overalls that would be befitting somebody that would work at the rail yards. There's delivery personnel outfits. Anything that would probably end up in the trunk or suitcase of Elijah Sawyer is there. And it seems to be tailor-made for any of you in any sizes, regardless of stereotypical gender identification. So there is sizes for Greta for the dock workers. So everything is there. There's no tailoring that needs to be made for any of that.
That's so thoughtful.
In addition, there are medical supplies, and there is probably a mid-grade intermediate laboratory as far as Greta's concerned, but this is the first one she's had.
The first one I've had. It's the best
Yeah.
one.
We were
Yep.
trying to get you. We were trying.
No, Joseph got me one. So.
I finally feel at home.
Joseph.
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 Yeah, I'm
Am I
very
saying
impressed.
that right?
Joseph. I'm very
Joseph.
impressed. He has your American chase. This sound does not exist.
It's difficult. No, but
Yes,
you'll
Deutsch.
get it.
Dwight hates the German uniform.
You'll get over it. They're very well
but-
made.
Dwight,
It's
as
an
everybody else is
incredible craftsmanship.
as everybody else is kind of getting all of these things and looking through all of these things, with your extreme spot hidden roll, you're kind of going through and checking windows and making sure that there isn't, some type of trap door
Right.
or false bottom or something
Yeah.
like that.
No
And
trust.
as you look around through everything, you don't see anything there's no identification that would befit that someone that lived here. There's no change on the nightstand, no books on the coffee table, there's no books on the shelves. Everything in here is as if somebody bought a spec apartment and filled it with these implements of disguise, except for one thing. And as you go back into the master bedroom, and as you are looking around, you notice that taped to the wall and not in a frame is a very old brown and white photo containing several figures. You see 4, but it looks like there was supposed to be... You see 4, and then you see Dietrich, and it looks like there's a spot for someone else, but you can't make it out.
Who else is in the photo with Dietrich?
Roll me a spot hidden.
I bet I know who's not there.
Uh-huh.
God damn it.
Oh
I don't know
God.
why he keeps doing this.
No.
Critical.
With a critical, as that is 1 out of 100 to be able to spot this, here is what you see. You see a group that seems to be standing for a professional picture, as if they're standing in front of a blank wall. They were told the picture was going to be taken. And as you look and kind of tilt the photo a bit and really look around it, you notice that it definitely looks like one of these is a younger version of Honest Pete Abraham that you met days ago, the mayoral candidate that you guys were involved with. You notice a couple people, a gentleman that you don't really recognize at all. You see another woman you don't recognize. You see a younger
Can I tell
woman.
what they look like?
What are you looking for specifically? Like racial
Just-
identifications
Yep.
or...
Yep, gender, anything that...
It looks like the man that has the mustache is like European descent. The younger girl, American, English, European descent. The other woman seems to be of Asian descent. But what kind of strikes you as odd is that as you identify the obviously Aryan or German Dietrich, it seems as if between Dietrich and one of the other gentlemen there is a smudge that, as if the photochemicals have smeared, and you can identify that there was somebody standing there, but you can't, even with that critical, you can't see that person.
Can I detect year? Like, do I recognize, potentially what gun-wise, outfits-wise, year-wise?
You can't really place it as far as you're not a photography expert.
Right.
There's no identify. There's not like, like welcome to 19 something or other. You can't see exactly. Nothing gives it away, but it looks older. You would guess maybe 20 years old. And that's about all you can get even with the critical, but it looks
Okay.
like it's the only personal possession that's in this apartment.
Okay, Dwight will definitely go out and show the rest of them what he has found.
Interesting.
I think that's the last Olympians, if I'm not mistaken.
With one missing.
Possibly Jack.
Roll a spot hidden, Sabella.
Oh God. Okay. Success.
Sabella, you see the same smear of photochemical de-resolution in that area between the Dietrich and one of the other men. But in addition to that, you see a turpentine stamp, as if there was an additional means of camouflage placed on this photograph.
Do not like this person. Mm. Someone is messing with me, and I do not enjoy it.
Messing with you how?
Or messing with... There's something in my way all the time now. Okay, well, I can still... Maybe I can push through it. Can I touch it, Greg?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna touch it.
You know how this works.
I do. Success.
Okay, with that normal success, as you touch this, and you begin to concentrate on the picture itself, no longer having to go through the elaborate ritual that you had before for your psychometry, where you had to be in your room, have your music on. It's become second nature. You are an Olympian athlete as well as an Olympian in name as it comes to performing this particular task. And as you grab it and think, your mind is drawn to that turpentine stamp that you could see without a reading, and it grows and it grows and it grows, and that entire figure that you're sure is there is obscured. And for a moment, you see everybody in that picture moving, and you see them kind of looking around and smiling as if they're gathering themselves and getting ready for a photograph. And for a moment, you slip through the borders and the frame of this picture. It's still that turpentine ink is keeping your periphery at a limit. But as you look, you realize that you're on, it appears to be a train platform. And you're not sure where, you're not sure when, and you can hear a whistle kind of muffled in the background, and it definitely sounds like a train whistle, and you're sucked back out.
That is so annoying.
Roll a d3 for me.
Oh, God. 2.
Take those off your total.
Okay.
You said there were medical uniforms here. What establishment do they belong to? Like, is there like a tag saying?
Yeah, there are ones for the local. There's 2 local hospitals.
Okay.
There's one for the university hospital, and there appears to be one for a laboratory that Greta would be the only one that would identify as
Is
being
it Grunberg Apotheke?
with the laboratory or the
The laboratory.
no. This is a street laboratory that is, quite frankly, for poor people to come and get inoculations.
Okay.
Greg, can I ask a quick question? Was the photo strategically placed in Dwight's exclamation with a critical?
With a critical, I will tell you this. It seems to be placed that where it would be the last thing that whoever slept in that bed would see before they went to sleep.
Okay.
I'm going to keep it. All right. Well, I suppose we should plan. I have some reading to do before long, but I guess we should figure out what it is we want to do.
Greta, just so I don't have to keep referring to you, how do you say "not now, I'm busy"?
That is a good question. I can't quite think of that right now. Greta tells you.
Okay. Elijah will even write it down.
Something.
He'll even write it down.
Okay, yeah.
Repeat it over and over and over and over again.
Probably nicht jetzt. I think that's not now.
Yes.
Jetzt.
Yes.
Jetzt. Jetzt.
Jetzt.
Jetzt.
Jetzt.
Nicht jetzt. That's not now. I don't know, I'm busy. Unless
This
it's
is
the lewd
horrible.
term.
Yes, everything is horrible, Mr. Burke. Thank you very much for your input. About as useful as it was back in the purple.
Speaking of input,
You keep bringing that up.
You think? Do they know what happened after they went, woo? That's my
Yeah,
term for it.
Dwight has lots of blocks when it comes to that. He's been.
No, when Kate and Dwight went into the column of light,
Mhm.
they remember nothing.
Hey, you
Funny.
should be thanking me.
Oh my God. Shut your mouth. You want to get slapped. Nick Jits.
speaking of input,
Nicht jetzt.
if you have thoughts about what we ought to do next, now's the time.
I think that the Maxime Schmidt might be the best lead, because if we disable that teleporter or start a scene at the big Reichstag building, the entire Reich's going to know we're here.
Thank you, Mr. Burke.
I could kill her.
Yes, thank you. That is what you are good at. Thank you.
Dwight's not real keen on doing what that particular. Yeah, he's like, Greta, what about your family?
Oh, mein Vater, apparently he has been apprehended, so he would not be working at the hospital as he normally does at this time.
They could have him somewhere close by.
Potentially. I do not know if he was working currently or if he was at our state in Baden-Baden that he was apprehended.
Who's the other German? What? Alvenschleben. That motherfucker needs to go.
Alvenschleben?
I'll take him out.
Alvin Schleben. I think. Well, I'm glad you still have that bullet, Dwight.
That bullet was meant for that fucking German we just spoke with. That we all decided with. His eyes.
Thanks.
Doctor,
Yeah?
what do you think?
There are many options before us and not much time. She kind of like looks over at the lab, longing in her eyes, kind of looks back. There is much I would like to do here. I believe that the French cathedral might be of some importance, potentially, depending on what that box has to do with anything. So we are going to have to hit the Reichstag eventually. Perhaps it would be wise to scout it
last.
out. Well, perhaps not save it for last in case we have to leave sooner, but
I
definitely
think
not first.
whoever is.
The museum might not be a bad start.
Mm.
Would I know about the Glenaki Palace?
Yeah, you would know where everything is, Greta. They're very kind of not famous, but well-known places. Anybody outside or like a non-Berliner or not someone from Germany wouldn't know exactly. They'd have to ask. But Glenaki, as far as the Kaiser Friedrich Museum, all of that stuff is very, very known to you.
Okay,
And
well,
you
I
could
don't
direct
know.
everybody.
I know. Like the museum is a museum. What is the Glenaki Palace?
The Glenaki Palace is just what it sounds like. It was originally a summer home for a bit of the Germanic nobility.
Okay.
It was built up. It has
Those were revoked in 1919, unfortunately, right? To have like nobility cred.
right. So with Glenaki, what it's been done or what's been made to now, just like with everything, it's been confiscated for the Reich.
Okay.
And as it's been done with that, it's now serving a different purpose for Hitler and his blossoming war machine.
Would I know what that is, or is it probably too new since I left Berlin?
Roll me a history check and we'll see if you can remember.
Okay. I'm not very good at history.
I have good history.
I don't succeed.
Yeah, you can't remember.
This museum might not be a bad start, and I'll tell them what I know about the places.
That'd be the easiest.
Greg, can I make a history check just for any additional information on any of this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's see. No, that's all right.
We just don't know.
No,
You
one
concur
day I
with,
won't.
yeah, you concur with Greta. You're good with it. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Would you like me to
Olympians-
read the newspaper to you all?
Yes.
Any interesting articles?
It's funny you should ask, Greta. Why don't you roll me a spot hidden?
Oh, a spot hidden? Or, yeah, we'll do that. That's a success, Greg.
Oh, with a success. I'll let you know what you see. Give me one
Okay.
second as I go back into all my goddamn notes from...
I had to fondle the doctor's jacket for a little bit while, like, staring longingly at the lab while people ask me questions, and now I read the newspaper.
Elijah has makeup brushes and he's painting different colors on his arms to see which ones match his skin tone.
Gotcha. Okay, getting ready. If you want to preemptively roll me a disguise check, Strider, you can do so with this additional testing that you're doing. You may do so for advantage, and that advantage check will carry over whenever you actually leave, since you're spending additional time with it. Okay.
Roll 20 hates me.
It came through for you there. So, Greta, as you're reading through, you see a headline that boasts of civil unrest and violent protests against the British Empire. It seems to originate from India, specifically Calcutta. It says the local populace seems emboldened by the success of the German state, and several prominent leaders wish to emulate their model. There's a report of a potential hepatitis outbreak around Calcutta, but don't worry, Captain Lancaster has been dispatched to oversee a quarantine.
I relay this information.
British
Add to
intellect.
I'm quite glad we did not go to Calcutta now.
British intellectual and member of government Sidney Larkin is involved in a fairly impressive joint archaeological dig with local British and Indian officials. Their work has not been impeded by the hepatitis outbreak or the civil unrest.
I'm sure it hasn't.
Everywhere he goes.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah.
Just adding this to my notes.
Well, at least those two things will be separate for a while. Whoever
Okay.
gets it.
As long as it can. Has everyone decided what they want to be?
Yeah, Olympians, tell me where you're going.
Ugh.
Well, I'd still like to hear from Sabella. Sabella, you're the only one I've not heard from. What do you think?
Look at my list. I think the biggest problem is going to be, I cannot pronounce it. Alvensleben. Alvensleben. Did I get it?
Very close.
Rudolf von Ovischleben.
Yeah, Dorian
Stop it.
agrees.
Alvensleben. I don't think stopping in on Frau Schmidt, did I get that? Would be a terrible idea. Obviously, yeah, I think that obviously is going to be the biggest problem, and I don't think. I mean, I can take some time and focus to confirm something as much as I can, but I think that maybe he is what's causing me my problem currently.
Out of character, remind me what's the mission at the Reichstag?
Take him out.
Alvensleben is there, and also there is one of the altars or the machines that will
Right.
take
Big
you invisible.
teleporty do.
Yeah, so the mission is just to knock him out and maybe wreak havoc with the teleporter.
To disrupt it or destroy it.
And
And
it's
then-
gonna bring us a lot of attention if we do that.
Right.
A whole lot of attention.
The last
Yeah,
one that got destroyed blew up in a volcano.
He's got to
Yeah.
go.
All right.
As soon
so-
as we interfere with that at all, we will have to leave.
Right.
There is a knock at the door.
I'll get it.
Yep.
No. What?
I will walk over to the door.
Is there a
Stand in the-
peephole?
Yeah, is there a peephole?
No, they don't have peepholes. They
I didn't
have
think so.
they have
It's the
face
door.
doors. Yeah, they have face
Anywhere
doors.
Dwight can position himself where he can't be seen to
Is
shoot
there like the
behind-
chain
over her
thing? So you can open it up and it only opens as wide as
when
the
she
chain?
opens the door.
No, this isn't America. This has the face door, and you unlock it and open it.
Okay,
There's no
okay.
additional.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
we all get on the edges.
Kate has her serpent gun out this time, and my eyes are as much on the back of the doctor's head as they are anything else.
Okay. I like open the door just a little bit to make sure like no one can really see what's inside. Hello?
You see a young man, maybe 16, 17, as he looks down and kind of looks back and says, yeah, Kilgrave?
Yeah.
Uh,
My husband.
He just holds a parcel up. And he feeds it through to you.
Dankeschön.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
And he walks off. And you have a package wrapped in brown paper.
I have mail.
Greta, don't go through anyone's mail.
I'm gonna open it.
What does it say on it? God damn it.
Yeah, who is
Oh,
it
I guess
from?
it says Jack Kilgrave.
Yeah, it's to Jack Kilgrave. Does it have a return address?
Yeah.
There is no return address.
Is
There
there
seems
a
to be a
country of
post-
origin?
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Ah, okay. Like from Switzerland.
Why don't you open it, Doctor?
This is me opening it.
You open it, and there are 2 items inside.
German
One of
flag.
them is a pocket watch
Hmm.
with a small ribbon around the outside of it that seems to be printed on. And the other is a very old rosary. And it says, with a tag around the cross on the rosary, it says, for Dwight.
Dieses ist for Dwight. And I'm gonna pick up the rosary. And what does the ribbon on the pocket watch say?
Time is of the essence.
Apparently, time is of the essence.
Do you open the watch?
I mean, I don't think Greta would.
Well,
Sabella's been messing
I
with the
take
pocket
out
watch.
My pocket watch,
Give it to Bella.
and I look at both of them.
Do you want one, or do you want me to open it?
She would walk in the tent that says "trap here," but she wouldn't open the pocket watch.
No. She wouldn't. She's like, oh, it's just a pocket watch. It's not particularly interesting
Let
to
me
her.
see it. Let me see it. See if it looks
Yeah.
like the other one.
Mhm.
What time is it?
And she knows Sabella's really into pocket watchers or
I'm
something because
super
she's
into
always
pocket
like
watches.
handling this one that she has.
I will find out how these work one day.
This is our
While they're
oldest.
doing it, Sabella, you can either roll me a power or a spot hidden.
Oh God.
Dwight, when you look at the rosary, when you flip open over the little ribbon that says for Dwight, it says from Joseph.
That's
Oh,
toss
speaking
it
of
out the
opening
window.
mail, Greg,
Okay, so power,
I'll message you later.
power. Okay. Success.
This isn't a similar pocket watch. It's the exact same pocket watch. And that is where we're going to end this session of Project Athena as we get ready to do a little Berlining here with our wonderful Project Athena people. And so I'm going to go around quickly, but I have something else I would like to mention to everyone. But we're going to wait because we have a new show starting on Saturday, it's going to deal directly with this one. But that's until then. This is until now. Lindy, what'd you think of tonight?
Well, it was wunderbar. I had a great time. I thought this was great. Greta is kind of getting a kick out of the fact that everyone's like, it smells like, yeah, I'm gonna read the newspaper. And it's just like, yeah, I'm kind of really necessary right now, which means I probably won't actually get to use this lab that's right here in front of me because they won't be able to get anywhere without me. Double-edged sword. But I had a blast. I cannot wait for next week. I'm really intrigued to see where all this is going to go and horrible things are going to happen. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitch, Twitter. I'm doing a whole bunch of shenanigans on all sorts of tabletop stuff throughout the week. I'm just going to announce my new one this week because I feel like there's a lot. On this Tuesday afternoon on the Greyhawk channel, I will be DMing Vecna Lives. It's super exciting. It's a little bit of a higher level campaign. I'm really hyped for it. I've got an awesome cast for it. And besides that, it's gonna be my regular streaming schedule. So D&D Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and here. So, yay!
Nice, awesome. Vecna Lives. It should be dope. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. High level stuff. Speaking of high level, I personally would like to say that I am lucky to have this person on the cast, as I have been told I should be very lucky that they are still on the cast after the events of 2 weeks prior. But we're not going to talk about the events of 2 weeks prior. We're going to talk about the events of tonight. Tonight, Allison, what'd you think?
It's water under the bridge. It's all water under the bridge, Greg. It's not,
Okay,
but
good. Okay. It's not.
I mean, I gotta say, this is like the hardest role playing I've ever done. I'm just not quite sure how to do this. I've been spending the last 2 weeks thinking about how, for my character, every relationship on this team almost is broken, and it's just incredibly challenging to figure out how to navigate it in a way that's both like faithful to Kate and what she's been through, and that also isn't like full on lone wolf fuck you, because it's not fun for anybody and it's not what she would do, but it's incredibly challenging. I feel really, really lucky to get to do it opposite this cast, though, and in the world that you're creating, Greg, because it pushes me and it makes me better and it challenges me and it excites me and it's a blast. So all kidding aside, nothing but love for all of you, and especially you, Greg. You can find me lots of places. I will follow Lindy's lead and highlight just one. The Act 1 finale episode of Wander Quest is dropping this week. And I have to tell you that when we played it, it wrecked me. It blew my mind and it wrecked me. And if you've been a fan, it's going to wreck you too. So make sure that you download it just as soon as it hits, because oh my God, it's amazing. Love y'all. Have a great week.
Fantastic. I both can't wait and dread listening to that, if that is the warning that I'm getting. Speaking of warnings that need to be given before you do such things, Steve, Dwight, what do you think tonight?
Very fun. I'm going to quote Sting: every move you make, Jeech, well, I don't know how it goes. Whatever. Every move you make, I'm watching you.
You're going to be watching
everything
me?
you do right now, I'm watching you. And this whole thing is I'm
very sneaky.
Yeah, very under the weather. Very sneaky, very, very sneaky. Follow everyone I'm with. I love everybody. They're amazing. I'm lucky to be here. I can't wait for Conan. That's what I'm going to produce. And I tell everybody, if you watch me, Dwight is Blondie. My character in Conan, hey, Lauren, let's hold on. It's Tuco is the character of Conan. So watch Good, the Bad, the Ugly, please, because it's the greatest movie of all time. And all my inspiration comes from this movie. And my next character I haven't already in my mind will be Angel Eyes, but watch that movie and go, thank God the Washington Capitals. I know I'm talking French to everybody here.
Is that sports ball?
It is sports ball.
What?
What?
That's
What is
hockey
sports
ball.
I
Stanley
didn't-
Cup,
Hockey
BC.
Oh,
Since 91, BC is now champions. And you, Virginia, Libby, you live in Virginia. You should hear this.
is he
I mean, this is
speaking
good stuff.
German?
I don't know.
But
I
you
speak.
don't
I
understand
understand German. I don't know what he's speaking. Maybe it's Italian.
Greg, please help me.
I can't. I don't like hockey. Anyway, speaking of
Hockey
things I
ball.
don't like, Strider, how is how is Elijah tonight, buddy?
Rude ass. Doing well. Fun to explore more facets of his personality. Everybody on the Twitters and stuff, hit up Greg. Gonna, not tonight, but try to find some time to get this cast and crew play some Jackbox games with me, or do some silly shit on stream. So, hey, Strider hate playing Elijah Sawyer. I'll be here to pull more heartstrings and do more emotional manipulation next week.
Awesome, buddy. Awesome. And yes, I would love to. Anytime that I can have Strider be my GM, I know that I'm going to have a fantastic time, and B, have my world rocked by some kind of new twist or some freaky game that I've never played before, but I love a whole bunch. If you don't believe me, check the VOD on Made. At any point, if you can see in my face that I know what I'm doing, it's false. Speaking about not knowing what I'm doing, no.
That's
Lauren.
so true though with me.
Yeah, Lauren.
You have no idea. Hi. I had a great time. This is the first time in weeks I haven't been furious with you, Greg. Congratulations.
Oh, you're
that
welcome.
that was totally unexpected. I'm super excited and intrigued for next week. I cannot wait. You can find me on Twitter at That's Salty Ginger. Tomorrow I play some D&D 5e over on Encounter Roleplay at 1 p.m. EDT. And then on Thursdays, I'm on the Greyhawk channel with Power Score RPG, playing very, very Irish rogue / warlock and getting my party into terrible, terrible, terrible situations already, because that's what I enjoy doing. So that's on, I think it's also 1 p.m. EDT on Thursdays. And then you can catch me back here for the greatest game in the world, because I love it, on Sundays. Project Athena, Pop Cthulhu. Bye. You're muted.
Hey, everybody. That was always just a test. And because of that test, I wanted to let everybody know that now that we're past that test, the true announcement is this. Beginning this Saturday from 2 to 4 Eastern, Project Athena will be joined by Project Kronos. And as Project Kronos tells the story of the original Olympians, so shall we follow in their footsteps and find out how certain things have come to pass for the Athenians and what may direct their course of events in the future.
Prequels.
But, yes, and sequels, depending upon how you're going to look at it. But I would like to point out that our cast will consist of my boy Finney reprising his role as Honest Pete Abraham. We have Donathan Fry coming back in. We have our own Kiana coming in as May. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Olympians of all ages, Aphrodite, now known as the Tyrannish, will be played by none other than our Summer. As Summer, who is in chat, will now be able to join the ranks of Mount Olympus and become an Olympian. And now, because I am doing this for the first time with the Stream Labs OBS, I'm hoping not to screw it up. I'm praying not to screw it up. I'm going to go ahead and try to do this, because I'm going to ask all the Olympians now to mute themselves as I have to listen and hopefully get this music cue right. I'm sure I won't. Let's see if I can do it.
the nowhere. I may only have a moment, and as you may be aware, before the happenings and assembly of Project Athena, there was Project Kronos. As fortune should have it, we're all here. Miranda Elsie Mills, codename Aphrodite, also known as the Savannah Siren and Maneater Mills, but to us, she is just Mimi. Mae Young, codename Hephaestus, an inventor, engineer, who is more comfortable in grease-stained overalls than a cocktail dress. There's Joseph Dietrich, codename Apollo, a German, an example of near-Aryan perfection. Barnabas Norwood, codename Poseidon, a gruff, quiet, and thoughtful man, a dedicated war hero with periods of reclusion. And I, Peter Abraham, codename Dionysus, though more commonly referred to as Pete, a lawyer and lucky charmer. That is us, or was us, as we were in 1915. Will we make it to 1933? Only with your help. Huh? What was that? Something's coming. Oh God, we have to go. So make sure you turn your dial to Grimjack 21502 so that you may see gods among men.
And that's it, kids. Project Kronos coming at you, hitting you with some of that good 1933, 1915 shit. I cannot wait to drop it down to see how that story plays with this story and how that story has already played with this story as the Olympians and the pantheon that consists of these gods and goddesses grows to godlike proportions. But where you can find me, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitter. You can find me here all the time. I live in 1933 constantly. More so now as I decide exactly how I'm going to drive myself crazy by dealing with not one group of professional RPers, but two who are just as inquisitive, just as goddamn interested in the facts as the rest of these people you see around you.
Roll a sanity check, Greg.
I've made a terrible mistake. I'm going to admit that this is, well, okay.
You love us, Greg.
I do. You will be able to see us every night in 1933 for Project Athena from 7 to 9 on Sunday evenings. You will be able to see us doing Firefly here on the channel from 2 to 4 every Friday. I'm down there with Lindy. We're doing a little of the Firefly action. And then, of course, on Saturdays from 2 to 4 in the afternoon Eastern, Project Kronos will build, but will ultimately tell its own tale as we see exactly what has happened and what will happen with the original Olympians. And in addition to that, as Steve already mentioned, at the end of the month, we have Conan, Age Undreamed Of, beginning on Fridays from 12 to 2. That's going to hit, that's going to drop. We're going to ride into the Hyborian Age and cut some heads off. And in addition to that, I can whisper a couple things. We have Flash Gordon coming. We have John Carter from Mars coming. We got a lot of pulp fun coming. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, this isn't about then, it isn't about now, it's about 1933. This is the story that we tell. This is the story that we live for. It is a labor of love. It is what we do because we need to know how it turns out. It's not enjoyable anymore. We just need to know how it turns out. No, it is enjoyable. I love these people. I love you guys. Thanks for showing up, chat. You're the best. And until next Sunday, please make it through 2018. Shit's getting crazy out there. But just remember, we're here in 1933. By God, we're waiting for you. See you then.